Well, hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2023-24 season. My name is Dan and it's time for another one of our hopefully daily streams that we're doing every single day. We're going to try and keep a theme for each stream over the course of next week and try and do as many as we can between now and deadline around 6 PM UK time each day. And today we're talking about Arsenal. That's why I've got the Arsenal shirt on. It's the last season's Arsenal shirt, to be fair. I should probably buy the new one at some point. Maybe I need to head down to the football shirt shop down the road and pick something up. But yeah, we'll definitely get a new Arsenal shirt. But for now, we're talking about Arsenal. So first of all, just want to say thank you very much for everyone for joining me today. If you don't mind leaving a like on the stream, that would be massively appreciated. Or if you are watching this as a replay, likes are appreciated as well. We've got Lack of Plethora, who has become a member of the channel. So thank you very much, Lack of Plethora. It's easy for me to say. Make sure you get some emojis in the chat. I'll keep an eye out for your messages. And FPL Alern, thank you very much for the Krona there. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you for supporting the channel with super chats as well. You're an absolute legend. Thank you very much. Let's get things going. But before we do any of that, do just want to say we are still giving away 6 tickets to Fantasy Football Fest. We are going to give them away at the end of this stream. So you've got an hour, basically, because we're going to be streaming for about an hour. Probably less, actually. Well, by the time we do the giveaway, we'll probably got like 45 minutes. So if you do want to go to Fantasy Football Fest on next Friday, a week from today, make sure you let me know by replying to this tweet. Head over to my Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Head over to my Twitter page. It's at FPL Mate. Scroll down a little bit until you find this tweet. Just leave a reply saying anything. You just say, I would like to go or whatever, and I'll put you in the raffle and we'll give those out at the end of the stream. I know a few of you guys are interested already, but basically it's just a deadline celebration in Waterloo in London. Lots of things going on there, lots of games, lots of guests there, speakers, comedy. We've got all of the top FPL creators in the country will be there, where you can have a chat and you can kind of discuss your team and stuff like that. So really, really exciting stuff, loads of stuff going on. So yeah, look forward to that. Hopefully see a few of you guys there, and hopefully we are able to give away a few tickets as well. So let's begin the Arsenal chat. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for the Arsenal chat? I know I certainly am. Let's just make sure I've got everything sorted here. So right, Arsenal. So let's start off. We are on Fantasy Football Hub as always, because it's just like the best website in the world if you like FPL. Don't forget, if you want to get Fantasy Football Hub for yourself, you can click on the link at the top of the description. Got 50% off subscriptions at the moment, plus you can get your money back. They will give you your money back that you spent on your subscription for the whole year if you do not win your mini league. So they are so confident that using their tools will win you your mini league that they will give you your money back if you don't. So yeah, make sure you go check that out. Link at the top of the description. So let's have a look at this here. So this is the Fantasy Football Hub fixture ticker. You may have heard me speak about this in my video I made earlier today. If you haven't checked out that video, by the way, and you are kind of, I don't know, not necessarily new to FPL, but if you are starting to take FPL a little bit more seriously this year, then I definitely would go check that out. And one of the general tips of taking your game to the next level in that video was transitioning from these sort of fixture tickers that we see on the Premier League website, where you just have a very basic, green, grey, or red for the fixture difficulty, which I don't think is that useful, but you can look at that for Arsenal. But do much prefer these fixture tickers because you can have a look at specific game week ranges. You can have a look at attack versus defense. You can reorder it. It's just very, very useful indeed. So we're looking at this. When you click on the attack tab and you order the teams by how well their attack should do, how good are the fixtures for their attack over the first 6 game weeks, you can see that Arsenal come out on top. Now, that means that we want to get some Arsenal players in, and specifically we want to make sure we've got at least 2 Arsenal attackers in our starting lineup. I think that's something that I would imagine most of us would probably agree on right now. Let me know in the chat, guys, or in the comments if you disagree with me. But I think most of us would probably agree the 2 Arsenal attackers minimum is the way to go. So from there, we've got to figure out who, because we've got these lovely fixtures. Nottingham Forest at home, first game of the fixture. Nottingham Forest, by the way, did they lose 5 or 6-0 in their last friendly game, which was quite quite mad. So maybe Arsenal can do some real damage there. We've got Crystal Palace away second game, which is an okay fixture. It's not amazing, but it's okay. We've got that Fulham at home game after that, which is really, really good. Unless Leno pulls off another worldy season, we imagine Fulham will concede a few goals this year. And we've got Manchester United at home, Everton away, and Tottenham at home there as well. Tottenham Hotspurs, again, when we're expecting Spurs to be quite an attacking team this year, so they are going to leave us some gaps in defence and potentially concede a few goals. So in terms of your attackers, Arsenal players are the players to target. So let's continue on, guys. So I want to have a look at the Opta stats tool. Again, another amazing fantasy football hub tool that you get with your subscription. I just want you guys to subscribe to it, so like you know what I'm talking about when we're having a look at these kind of these tools, to just so you're familiar with them and just understand what we're talking about and how powerful they are. But what I've done here is I've got the table of Opta stats for all Arsenal players, and we've ordered the stats per start. And I've ordered it expected points per start. So every time a player gets a start in the team, how many expected points they have. And we have Gabriel Jesus right at the top, which is really, really interesting, and Nketiah number 2. So Jesus and Nketiah technically have the best opportunities to grab FPL points, or at least they did last season. These two players had the best opportunities to score FPL points. Now, you need to take these stats with context, and we do need to understand that Jesus is not the perfect finisher. He does usually underperform, and Nketiah did have a kind of a history of underperforming last year as well. You can see Jesus last season, his XG per game was per start, was 0.59. His actual goals was 0.46. So actually scoring less, one goal, just slightly under one goal every 2 games. Similar situation with Nketiah, kind of similar numbers, same kind of drop-off of levels of finishing. Martinelli, on the other hand, despite the fact having slightly less XG stats with 0.32, because he is a better finisher, he does actually finish his chances a little bit more. So we're actually seeing that Martinelli, he is probably, with the finishing ability he has, potentially has the opportunity to outscore the likes of whoever is at the forward for Arsenal, as long as he gets those starts. And I've made sure I've done this per start and not per 90, because I know a lot of you guys have said in the past, okay, I like Martinelli, but I'm worried about his minutes. You know, he doesn't get as many minutes as Saka or Ødegaard, and therefore I don't want to do per 90 stats, because that gives Martinelli an unfair advantage, because of course Martinelli is better per 90, but it seems that he's also better per start. So even if you kind of see Martinelli averages 80 minutes per start, Saka 85, Ødegaard 84, but even with 80 minutes, which is less than some of his teammates there, still putting up those better numbers. Havertz is an interesting one. We've got his stats from Chelsea there as well, which is kind of a little bit interesting, but again, another severe underperformer there, not the greatest finisher, and he's going to be playing in a slightly different position this season. And we can go through and we can see some other players, Ødegaard, Saka, Trossard, pretty good whenever he starts as well. Some of that data is from his Brighton days, to be fair, but still a reasonably good finisher when he plays in those dangerous positions, and quite often he does play in dangerous positions as well. We can see the pick of the bunch in terms of defenders, even if you include defenders and goalkeepers combined, it is Gabriel. It is Gabriel. He has the much better attacking numbers. And the only reason, if we're let's just do a quick comparison here, because I know you guys probably want to see the defensive players. Let's put all the main defenders in. We'll show only selected players. So we have here all of these kind of defender type players, defenders and goalkeepers that you might choose from Arsenal as well. We can see Gabriel has the best expected points, but actually when you look at his actual points scored, he actually falls slightly behind the likes of Saliba and Ben White, which I think is a reason why a lot of people are opting to go for Saliba over Gabriel, because they've seen Saliba scores more points per game. But there is a very good reason for this. And the reason is, when Saliba and Gabriel were playing together, Gabriel had the better numbers. When Saliba dropped out the team, suddenly Gabriel was still there picking up stats, but Arsenal were keeping less clean sheets. They were conceding more goals. They were conceding more chances. So I think perhaps a fairer way to look at this is to go from when Saliba got injured, which was game week 27? So there we go. So in the first 27 game weeks, where both Gabriel and Saliba were playing together, suddenly not only has Gabriel got way better expected points, but also we do see that he actually was scoring more points as well. So Gabriel, consistently a player who does score more points than Saliba when both of these players are on the pitch together. Even when they're not on the pitch together, Gabriel still has better expected points over the course of the season. So I think that's definitely something to consider. And the reason why Gabriel puts up these great numbers is it basically comes down to his attacking potential there. So you can see, if we order this by XG, Gabriel 0.09 XG per game, which means he's going to score a goal on average once every kind of 10 games or almost 10 games, one goal every 10 games. So over the course of the season, you can imagine that it will probably score 3 or 4 goals, which is very, very nice there. Saliba, on the other hand, is kind of running at a third of that. So at 0.03 XG, probably only expecting him to score 1 goal over the course of the entire season. And I know when we actually look at the goals that the players did score, it is a little bit more even. Saliba got an assist last year, and Saliba got a goal last year as well. Or did he get 2 goals maybe? I remember one of the assists, the one assist that Saliba got last season, I'm pretty sure the ball just bounced off him, from a corner play. The ball was just bouncing all over the place. It bounced off Saliba, and another player scored the goal. I think it might have been Gabriel Jesus scored the goal. So yes, Saliba got an assist then, but it's kind of like, all right, I don't think that's going to be easy to replicate. I don't think that's going to happen all the time. Like, all players, any player in the whole Premier League can get a lucky assist like that. And also Saliba, I remember very, very distinctly one of the goals he scored last season. It was like a crazy, long range goal. Do you guys remember that? Sort of towards the start of the season. And it was very much in a short period of time where he got the lucky assist and he just scored this crazy goal out of nowhere that he's probably never going to score a goal like that in his life. He's never scored one like that in his life before. Probably never going to score one like that again. The ball just fell to him and he just smacked it. Whereas Gabriel, I feel like his attacking returns are slightly more predictable. You can slightly more kind of understand how they're going to work. And the way they're going to work is the fact that Gabriel, when the corners come in for Arsenal, Gabriel is always at the end of it. I was looking through the numbers. It's a shame I should have got the numbers prepared for today so I can remember them exactly. But it's kind of a situation where something like 60% of Arsenal's corners will go straight to Gabriel for him to take the shot on from the corner, or at least the passages of play around the corner. 60% for Gabriel, and then we see sort of 20% Gabriel Jesus. We see 10% Martinelli, maybe 10% Saliba. So Gabriel from those set pieces is the biggest threat for Arsenal by far. And if we go back to these fixtures quickly, guys, we have a look at some of these games, like Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace and Fulham. These are 3 teams that actually concede a lot of their goals, a lot of their chances from those set pieces. So I feel like going for a player like Gabriel is really, really beneficial. So do want to put that one out there. I have said in previous videos, in previous streams, I prefer Gabriel to Saliba, but I don't really think I've gone in full detail before as to why. And I thought a slightly longer form Arsenal dedicated video would be a good opportunity to kind of explain to you guys why I am so convinced by Gabriel over Saliba, why I would be picking Gabriel over Saliba every single time. You could go for Zinchenko as well, but obviously he has been dealing with some injury issues. So yeah, going back to the Arsenal players in general before we move things on and we start having a look at some teams, because we are going to be looking at some teams in this video as well. Please stay patient for that. Yeah, so we have got we got Jesus is not available, so we're possibly looking at maybe like Nketiah or Trossard potentially coming in as potential players we might want to have a look at. Obviously Martinelli, Saka, Havertz, maybe Odegaard. Xhaka is obviously left the club, and yeah, honestly, I feel like there's no real reason to go for any other defenders. Even Ramsdale, it looks like Raya is potentially coming into Arsenal very soon. So even Ramsdale is kind of a little bit risky at this moment of time, isn't he? So we need to be looking at, I think, these. Wait, let's just make sure I have got all of the players selected that I want to have selected. I think the only players that I would even remotely consider are these players: Nketiah, Havertz, Martinelli, Saka, Trossard, Odegaard, Gabriel, and Wait, I didn't even mean to click Ramsdale because he's risky, remember? Okay, so not Ramsdale. So Nketiah, Havertz, Martinelli, Saka, Trossard, Odegaard, and Gabriel. This is the pool of 7 players that I would be considering picking out of. And I would, like I say, be making sure We have two Arsenal attackers. FPL Learn, by the way, in the chat has just come up with a great statistic. So this is a statistic from Arsenal defenders. So Alern says, shots last year, Gabriel 31 and Saliba only 6. So that does, again, demonstrate the difference in attacking potential between Gabriel and Saliba. It's chalk and cheese. It really is a huge difference between those two players. So definitely something that you want to be considering, and just go for Gabriel, basically. Very, very simple task there. So yeah, these are the players we want to be having a closer look at, but how are Arsenal going to line up? Obviously, not all of these players are going to be playing. What is Arsenal going to look like? And I've made a couple of these like build lineup things. I appreciate this is not the best graphics I've ever made on this channel, but I've been working on another video that I need to post on tomorrow, so I didn't have too much time to make some proper graphics for this one. But yeah, I at least made a little quick rundown of what I expect Arsenal to line up. So without Jesus, so game week 1, I mean, maybe first of all, let's just have a look at this. Wait, no. Where am I looking? Oh, I've lost it. Okay, I did have a tweet somewhere saved that was how long Gabriel Jesus will be out for. But yeah, it was basically, it said, you know, it was a tweet about Gabriel Jesus. He's expected to be out for a few weeks. And I thought we'd maybe just have a look at the, like how long that is, how many game weeks is that. So if a few weeks is 3 weeks, let's be generous and say 4 weeks, we're going to see basically Jesus miss the first 3 game weeks of the season. So game weeks 1, 2, and 3, kind of maybe a worst case scenario, possibly. Maybe it extends to game week 4 as a worst case scenario. I would imagine that Jesus is back at game week 3 at the earliest, and maybe game week 4 or 5 at the latest there. So yeah, we're going to have him out for a few weeks. And a lot of people are saying, okay, I see that Jesus is going to be out. How can I take advantage of that situation? And this, what I have on screen, is my first prediction of how I think Arsenal are going to line up come game week 1. And we might get a slightly better idea after the Community Shield on Sunday. But right now, do want to say this is probably what I'm expecting. So the standard team, we've got Ramsdale in goal, assuming Raya is not in or bedded in or anything like that. But we have Ramsdale in goal, Zinchenko, Gabriel, Saliba, and White in defence. We'll have Declan Rice kind of as the number 6. We'll have Havertz and Ødegaard in midfield. And particularly when Havertz is playing, Ødegaard is going to have slightly more defensive responsibility. So I do think that damages Ødegaard a little bit when Arsenal are lining up like this. And then we'll see Martinelli on the left side, Saka on the right side. And then we've got a toss-up for the forward position between Nketiah and Trossard. And there you will not find you won't find a group of Arsenal fans that will agree on which one it's going to be. A lot of people think it's going to be Nketiah starting. A lot of people will be saying Trossard is going to be starting. I think anyone who is saying either one will start definitely is probably lying. I do feel like Arteta has a soft spot for Nketiah, so for that reason, maybe Nketiah is going to come in there, but also Trossard can do a good job there as well. But if you like put a gun to my head and said, you know, pick one player to start out of these two, I would say Nketiah starts game week 1. But it could also be Trossard. There is another potential situation here, and that basically moves Trossard into midfield. And if Trossard's actually been doing quite well in training and in the kind of pre-season, learning to play and playing quite well that left 8 position. So if Trossard plays in the left 8 position, this means that maybe Havertz plays at the set as a central striker rather than Nketiah. And maybe Havertz is slightly more of a like-for-like switch for Jesus, which could be a reason. Oh, Zinchenko is out. Yeah, of course, Zinchenko is out. I forgot to change that. I did have Jesus in there originally as well. So it's actually going to be Tierney. It's actually going to be Tierney as the left back, which could also, by the way, mean that Timber plays as the right back as well. So I think that is a potential there. So Tierney left back, or maybe Timber left back. Yeah, anyway, forget the defense. We're trying to focus on the attack right now. But yeah, you are absolutely right. Zinchenko is probably not going to be ready to start this season. So definitely something to be aware of. But yeah, I don't think too many people are picking Zinchenko right now anyway. It's going to be interesting to see what the left back and right back situation is. The 2 centre backs I'm convinced by though. But anyway, sorry, back to what I was talking about, which is the kind of attack. Someone says Timber left back. Yeah, it could be Timber left back as well. He obviously played that in pre-season. But yeah, Trossard could do very well in that left 8 position. And I feel like that does open up potential for actually Havertz to play as that central striker as well. Now, there is one more potential lineup that Arsenal could go for, and I don't think they'll go for this in game week 1 against Nottingham Forest. I feel like maybe this is a kind of a formation for the slightly tougher fixtures, but just throwing that one out there anyway. And that sees Partey coming in to play the defensive midfield position, Declan Rice going into the left 8 position, which really, really opens it up to the central striker. That means it could be Nketiah, Trossard, or Havertz in that central striker position, which makes things, it becomes difficult. It does become difficult to kind of predict at that point. So what we've basically got is a situation where we don't know. We don't know who's going to be playing the central striker. You can probably say with reasonable confidence that Martinelli and Saka are nailed on as the wingers. Ødegaard is nailed on in that midfield as well. They should be starting every single game. Trossard is probably not going to start left wing. Trossard could get some minutes and take some minutes off Martinelli kind of as a substitute or in the cup competitions, but certainly at the start of the season, I think, particularly with Jesus out, Martinelli is the primary goal threat at Arsenal, so he is going to be very, very safe in this team. I would imagine it is one of Nketiah or Trossard. People saying Jorginho also exists. Yeah, I'm not fully convinced. I think Partey starts ahead of Jorginho, to be fair. Yeah, Jorginho could get some minutes, but I don't think he's going to be starting games, to be fair. I think he was more of a kind of a player just playing in the interim whilst Arsenal were looking to get Declan Rice. But so there. This is probably what we're going to be looking at. I mean, excluding like the. Can we just fix it? Let's just throw Timber in there. I'm not fully convinced by this one. It could be Timber, it could be Tierney. Let's just put like that, and I don't know, White/Timber. White, you've disappeared. So it would be something like that. So this is what I would say is the Arsenal is the Arsenal lineup, something like that. I think Trossard more likely through the middle than out wide. I have a suspicion. I just have a suspicion that Nketiah is going to start ahead of Trossard. Are you willing to take that bet? I don't know. You tell me. Are you willing to take that bet? I don't know, because it really is. It's so difficult to say for sure which of the two kind of central forward options in Jesus' absence, who's actually going to start. Is it going to be Nketiah? Is it going to be Trossard? And moreover, after a couple of game weeks, Jesus is going to be back, and Jesus will be starting anyway. So, if you're asking, I don't know if anyone asked, but actually, to be fair, no, a few people have asked me about this. To be fair, so it's not like nobody asked. But if you're asking me, who should you pick out of the likes of Nketiah or Trossard or Havertz, with the kind of idea that you're hoping these players are going to play in the central striker position, I would say Nketiah has a better chance than Trossard, and Trossard has a better chance than Havertz. None of them have particularly high chance. I don't think any of them have a more than a 50% chance of playing in each game. And the other issue is that by game week 3 or 4, we're going to see Jesus come back into the team anyway. So you're going to be forced to make a transfer out. You're going to be forced to swap out Nketiah or Trossard. And if you've got Nketiah, you might find it difficult to find another 6.5 million forward, because there's obviously a limited amount of forwards at that price point. If you go up to a 7 million, you've got like Jackson, which is very nice, 7.5, and Nkunku when he's available. You've got Darwin Nunez there. At 8, we've got Jesus, we've got Watkins, we've got Callum Wilson as well. So it's a difficult price point for Nketiah, because you can only really go down or go up by 0.5, assuming you can still afford that, assuming you have that in the bank. So Nketiah is a difficult escape route. Trossard is a slightly easier escape route, because I do think you can go for one of the many 6.5 million midfielders to replace Trossard. We've got Richarlison. If Kane leaves, Richarlison is going to be an option as well. At 7.5, you've got the likes of Foden and Maddison. So there is a couple of really decent picks there around Trossard's price. So there's more escape routes when you have to leave Trossard behind. But when you leave Trossard behind, it means you're going to go down to probably 2 Arsenal players, and you might actually want to remain on triple Arsenal, or at least remain on at least double Arsenal attack. So, Nketiah is 5.5. Oh well, then you're screwed. If you pick Nketiah and sorry, I thought he was 6.5. I don't know why. Nketiah 5.5. So yeah, if you pick Nketiah at 5.5 and you've spent all the rest of your money, you know what? This is starting to make sense, because I know a lot of people like to try and find a cheap route into their FPL team to allow them to spend all of their budget and afford players that they couldn't afford previously. So I imagine a lot of people downgrading Jesus straight down to Nketiah and splashing that cash elsewhere. But yeah, I think that creates a problem, right? It creates a problem, whereas whereby if you have a 5.5 Nketiah and you need to make a transfer, who are you gonna swap him for? Like, there's João Pedro at 5.5. That's about it. That's pretty much about it. So, yeah, pretty crazy. Arav T says, "Hi Dan, Spurs fan here. Seems like Kane to Bayern is done." Yeah, I know. I didn't want to jinx it or anything, but it does look like that's going to be done within the next day, doesn't it? Well, I'm imagining we are going to get an announcement within the next 24 hours on that bad boy. So, yeah, didn't want to jinx that one. But look, yeah, it does look like Kane is on the way to Bayern. So that definitely is going to be nice for Richarlison, I think. So, yeah, look. We've done half an hour on Arsenal. I said we're going to look at some teams, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to look at some teams for a little bit of yours. I did post a tweet out, guys, if you want to reply to that tweet. Maybe I should go find that tweet quickly just to show you, and we'll have a little scroll through. I have entered some of these teams into Hub as well, but let's have a look at this. So, again, guys, if you do want to get a Fantasy Football Fest ticket, just reply to this tweet here, and I'll give them away at the end of this stream. Give them away in about 15 minutes time, but we do want to rate some teams first. And if you want to submit your team to be rated, reply to this tweet. I can see already 178 of you have already replied to this tweet with your teams as well. So, yeah, you can go have a look at that and send your team in. We'll try and get through as many as we can. And I have, at this present moment, actually already entered a few of these teams into the My Team tool. So, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that, bad boy. Okay, so this is the first team is from FPL MFZ, who is from, what's that? Is that Singapore? Malaysia flag. So, MFZ from Malaysia. This is their team, which is kind of similar to what we said. So we've got a pretty template team here. We've got Onana, Estupiñán, Chilwell, Stones, Rashford, Saka, Martinelli, and Mbeumo, Nketiah, Haaland, and João Pedro there. Bench pretty template there as well. But it does... Yeah, Juice WRLD, I won't take too much time on template teams. No, don't worry. I've picked for these my team kind of teams that I've done. They're not too template at all. Don't forget, guys, if you want to get access to this My Team tool and get yourself a team rating, link at the top of the description. Still 50% off right now. So, yeah, if you can go check that out if you want to. Yeah, so basically this team looks like it literally has just removed Jesus and put in Nketiah, because in this team, we've got a 90% team rating, but 5 million in the bank. First of all, I want to give a shout out to MFZ, because they've somehow managed to make a 90% team rating team, which obviously I always say that is like, if you are below 90%, you've gone too crazy. So guys, make sure when you're getting your team rated, when you are having a look on Fantasy Football Hub, honestly, make sure you are 90% plus. That would be my first piece of advice. That in fact, if you just want your team rated, and like obviously I don't have time to do everyone, and I miss you out for whatever reason. I do apologize if I don't get to your team, but go on to Fantasy Football Hub, click the link in the description, go to Fantasy Football Hub, and just throw your team into the My Team tool. If it's below 90%, assume that I've said it's bad, because that's pretty much my opinion on teams, really. But yeah, we've got 90%, we've got 5 million in the bank. But look, we've got Nketiah. I've already kind of alluded to the fact that whilst I appreciate you're trying to go for something a little bit different, I think you run into a lot of problems. But the one advantage is if you go for Nketiah and leave money in the bank, then I guess that's okay, but you're still booking yourself in a transfer. You are still booking yourself in a transfer. So, I mean, I'm not massively keen on that. So, straight away, I'll be removing Nketiah and I'd be bringing in Watkins, and I'd be upgrading Mbumo all the way up to a Bruno Fernandes. So those are the 2 changes I would make to this team. 2 changes I've made up to 94%. We haven't got triple Arsenal anymore, so I'd maybe go Stones to Gabriel, but I'm not that, I'm not massive on that one. You could also do Chilwell to Gabriel if you wanted to go that way as well. You can even do, I know I'm not a massive fan of doing this, generally speaking. But if you wanted to bench Chilwell for the first game, you could throw in Gabriel there as well. So there's a couple of options for you, my good friend from Malaysia. That is what I reckon to your team. I think it was a reasonably good team, but there's just so much money in the bank. There's no point in having that much money in the bank. Maybe João Pedro is the only other risk in this team, but I appreciate that it's a little bit different. But yeah, if you go for Watkins instead of Nketiah, and just if you just go back to having that as Henry maybe, and you have Watkins there, you can switch Watkins to Jesus if you want to. That's also an option. Let's move on to the next team, guys. The next team is from Jordy Lee R. Jordy Lee R. Let's see what you got for me. So we've got a team with Martinez in goal. We've got a fairly template defense here again. Estupinian, Shaw, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Although I have to say, among top FPL managers this year, we don't see too much of Trent. We're not seeing a huge amount of Trent Alexander-Arnold. We're not seeing a huge amount of him. Maybe he's not got great fixtures, has he, at the start of the season? And we are still a little bit worried about Liverpool's defence. Jack in the chat here has just said, what do you think about Robertson this year? Yeah, new system for Liverpool means Robertson is going to have really, really limited opportunities. I mean, arguably, Robertson doesn't even really fit the system that Liverpool are going for at the moment, but it is meaning that Robertson is playing a lot deeper. He's not getting as many attacking opportunities, at least not from open play. But yeah, we've got a team with Trent here. Midfield of Rashford, Foden, Saka, Havertz and Mbumo. What is interesting about this team, I like this team in general, but we have got Havertz and Nketiah here. Now, Havertz, I feel like, is a risk with a better chance of, a better chance of being sustainable. But I feel like I would much rather have Martinelli. We've got 1 million in the bank here. Can we just swap Havertz to Martinelli? We've got a little bit of money to do that. Nketiah, I feel like, is a problematic player, but I feel like this team is basically opting for Trent as that kind of other expensive player in your team. So whilst a lot of people have a cheap defender in this Trent position, they would have an expensive player in this forward position. But you can't have both. You can't have everyone you want to in FPL, which is unfortunate. But maybe, a good thing about Udogie is that Udogie, I feel like, by the way, Spurs fans, do you agree with me? The Udogie should be fairly nailed on. He is the future of Spurs, right? He's the future of Spurs. So therefore, if he's playing every single game, and I don't think the Fantasy Football Hub algorithm has quite caught on to this fact yet, which is why he's quite lowly rated on the algorithm here. But I think he's going to be starting most games, like pretty much every single game. And therefore, from game week sort of 3 onwards, we've got some nice fixtures for Spurs, right? Bournemouth, Burnley, Sheffield United. Those 3 fixtures are going to kind of coincide with Nketiah becoming a problem. So Nketiah is probably going to become a problem from around game week 3. And therefore, you can simply start playing a slightly different formation and go from game week 3. So if we just go from game week 3, actually, I've done this the wrong way. So let's switch this back. So for game week 1, you have Nketiah. For game week 2, you've got Nketiah. For game week 3, we start switching things around. And we go for Udogie starting here instead against Bournemouth. So we've got Udogie starting there, Nketiah on the bench. Again, you can do the same thing again in game week 4. Slap in Udogie. And that gives you a little bit more time to deal with your Nketiah situation. It's not like with this particular team, with the way it's set up with Udogie, you could find yourself in a situation where you have a little bit more time to deal with that in Nketiah situation. Arav, our resident Spurs fan in the chat, says that he's nailed. Yeah, I kind of agree with that one. Marco says Spurs could have a bad defence. I do agree with you that certainly at the start of the season, it's going to be a difficult situation. But I think Spurs could sort their defence out a little bit eventually. And remember, Udogie is only 4.5 million. Even if Spurs have a mid-table defence for the season, what we get is a 4.5 million defender. That's a mid-table price player, and he's a player who is going to probably get some attacking returns as well. Udogi's got a really nice attacking record. So Udogi from game week 3 onwards, I actually kind of like. Ikara, the website I'm using right now is in the description. It's Fantasy Football Hub, and I'm using their members tool to have a look through the game weeks here. So yeah, all members will have access to this. All members of Fantasy Football Hub, of course. I know I keep saying this, but it's 50% off. That deal runs out. The get your money back deal as well runs out on Friday, so make sure you are checking that out sooner rather than later. Right, so that's that team ticked off. I think we fixed it. It looks good. All we really needed to do is swap Martinelli for Havertz, and I think we've demonstrated. I think this guy's demonstrated a way. So fair play, Geordie Lee. You've kind of demonstrated a way of having Nketiah in your team and having a bit of a backup plan there as well. Next up, FPL Dean, who is a member of the FPL Twitter community. So hopefully he's going to know his stuff. And we have a reasonably template here, which is one of the reasons why I picked this one out. Is because I feel like this is Arsenal picks done the right way. We've got Gabriel, Saka, and Martinelli. These three players are my Arsenal picks. Juice World's just said in the chat, Dan, you should be on Who Wants to Be a Million in Philip's channel. I've actually already done we did a tenable video on FPL Phillips' channel. So if you want to go check out FPL Phillips, I did do a video over there with him. We did a Premier League FPL tenable video. So yeah, that was actually really good fun. Shout out to FPL Phillips, by the way, on YouTube, doing some really nice stuff, doing some different stuff as well. Massively appreciate what he's got going on over there. So yeah, this is a reasonably template team. We've got the right Arsenal players, Gabriel, Saka, Martinelli. I say the right Arsenal players. What I mean is, we've got my personal preferred Arsenal triple up. It's the triple up I've been on since way before Gabriel Jesus got injured. This was my initial Arsenal triple up. It's one that I've tried to crunch the numbers, try and look at it from different angles, try and persuade myself out of it, and try and keep a level head and try and, you know, figure out if there's a better way of doing Arsenal. But I can't. This is the best way to do Arsenal, as far as I'm concerned. Gabriel, Saka, Martinelli, these are the guys. We've got Eze in here, which is a nice little spice. I feel like if you're going to go for a differential, if you just want to add just that little bit of spice to your very template team, going for Eze instead of the likes of Mitoma and Mbumo is probably the way to go. We've got João Pedro here as well, which I think is kind of interesting. Yeah. This one it's an interesting one, isn't it, João Pedro? It could work out, it could not work out. The only problem with João Pedro is there's no real escape route. But just like that other team, what we can do is when João Pedro's fixtures start turning bad, like let's say from game week 3 onwards, we can switch and play a 4-4-2 instead. And that will buy us a little bit of time to deal with João Pedro. So yeah, game week 5 as well, we can leave João Pedro on the bench there. We can play with a 4-5-1 there if we need. Well, actually, Watkins should probably come on, shouldn't he? We could play with a 4-4-2 there again. And yeah, you're seeing the team rating slowly creep up here, which is quite nice to see with that Ben Chilwell coming in and playing that 4-4-2. In fact, we've actually got game week 6 up to 100% rating by making those changes. But yeah, we're up to 94% with this team. So yeah, decent team. Little cheeky risk on João Pedro from, what was his name? It's Dean? Yeah, Dean. So a little cheeky differential with João Pedro and Eze, but we've got that cover with João Pedro with Chilwell on the bench. So yeah, we've got that nice cover. I feel like if you're going to go for a player in a horrible, horrible price point, like Pedro, like Nketiah, having that player on the bench like Chilwell to cover you when things do go wrong, which they will go wrong, it buys you a little bit of time. Might even buy you enough time up to your first wild card. And our final team on Hub before we go to the crowds is from Duncan Crawford, who is a very nice lad. I've actually met him at Fantasy Football Fest. So yeah, once again, shout out to Fantasy Football Fest where I have met Duncan. We've entered in his team, and it is again a reasonably template team with a nice amount of spice. There is one thing I don't like about this team. Guys, can you figure out the one thing that I would 100% change about this team? Have a look through this. We'll see if you guys can figure this out whilst we go through some of these other players. But yeah, we've got Diaby in there, who is actually seems to be playing as a striker for Aston Villa in pre-season. So it's going to be Watkins and Diaby playing as the two strikers. So you're going to get an out-of-position player. Really kind of interesting there. I know Diaby will be as kind of more of a second striker, but Aston Villa have some really nice fixtures. Really nice fixtures. We've got game week 2 against Everton, game week 3 against Burnley there, which is nice. A couple of tough fixtures, but you know, Liverpool is not too bad. Crystal Palace at home, it could be worse. There's some mixed fixtures, but there's some good fixtures in there. So certainly those game week 2 and 3, I think could be pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. I can see you guys putting your predictions in the chat, by the way, guys. We'll get there in a second. We've got Foden here as well. Really, really interesting differential. Foden is one player who is not in my current draft who I would actually really like to have. I would really like to have Foden in my team. I really like the look of him. I think he is becoming more and more nailed on as time goes by. And we know when Foden plays, he slays. That's the thing about Foden. When he plays, he slays. So I kind of want to have him. In my team. Haven't figured out a way of getting him in yet, but I perhaps need to do that. I've only got a week left. But anyway, guys, we're saying Darwin and Saliba are the two things I don't like. Well, I mean, Saliba, you're absolutely spot on. So, yeah, for me, again, as always, no reason whatsoever to go for Saliba over Gabriel. Those of you guys, yeah, you guys have been listening very carefully of the first part of the video, I see. So, yeah, thank you guys for keeping for actually listening to me. You know, around the house, in my real life, nobody listens to me, but maybe some of you guys do. That makes me feel good. Thanks, guys. But yeah, we've got Darwin as well. Some of you guys don't seem to be liking Darwin too much. I don't mind it. I genuinely don't mind it. I think it's a high-risk, high-reward pick. I think against Chelsea, I think actually Darwin will be on the bench against Chelsea. But really, you're buying Darwin for game week 2 against Bournemouth, where I think Darwin does come straight in and start that game. I think Darwin could do some damage against Chelsea, by the way, from the bench. There's a good chance of that. But yeah, at Bournemouth at home, I'm expecting Darwin to start, and I feel like he will be the top scoring player from that game. I can easily see Darwin getting 2 goals in that game. Easily. 2 goals, 3 bonus points. And I know a lot of people are saying Salah is perhaps the pick of that game. I actually do disagree. I actually think it's going to be Darwin is the pick from that particular game. Obviously, Salah in general over the course of the season might score more points than Darwin, but in that particular game, if I'm looking for a captain in game week 2 and it's not going to be Erling Haaland, I would genuinely think about captaining him for that game over Erling Haaland. I might even do it. Genuinely, guys. I'm not even joking. I genuinely might captain Darwin against Bournemouth. I think that is, you know, it's a risk, but when I speak about risk a lot in FPL, I think there are right and wrong times to take a risk. And when Haaland is playing against Newcastle, which is a tough game, and we've got Liverpool, we think Darwin's going to start against Bournemouth at home. I genuinely prefer him. I prefer Darwin. In fact, I'm going to put this one out there, guys. I think Darwin is my favourite player in FPL for game week 2. It's just going to be a case of whether I am willing to take the risk of actually captaining him, picking him, and captaining him in game week 2 ahead of Haaland. I don't know if I'm willing to take that risk, but if I was a less scared man, then I'll perhaps go for that one. So yeah, like Darwin, and I feel like this team doesn't really need much fixing. Just needs to throw in Gabriel instead of Saliba, and it's a good team. It's a good team. I like it. I like the differentials in here as well. It's pretty decent. So, right, guys, that is all of the Fantasy Football Hub kind of ratings that we're doing today. We'll do some more tomorrow. I mean, assuming I stream tomorrow. I'm not going to stream every day, but I'll stream most days. We'll do some more tomorrow. But I do want to have a look and have a quick flick through some of these teams that you have sent in to me today. I'm assuming they're okay. So we've got 200 replies. So gotta try and get through these. We'll try and get through a few at least before it gets boring anyway. But yeah, let's have a look here. So FPL Bentley right at the top here, Arsenal fan, so keeping things on trend. Yeah, this is a template team with Nketiah. It's a template team with Nketiah. All right, so it's similar to... I think we saw a team similar to this as well. Or did we? Maybe not sure. Nketiah worries me in this team. Where's the escape route? Because obviously we've got Trent here as the expensive defender. So unless you downgrade Trent at some point or another, how are you going to find the money to upgrade to Nketiah to someone else? Because by game week 3 or 4, you're going to have to do that. The rest of this team is really nice. And I think this team could score really well, assuming Nketiah gets the nod ahead of Trossard. I think this team could score really well over the first couple of game weeks, but then quickly run into trouble after that. So need to make sure there's an escape plan in there. Probably going to take a couple. It's probably going to take 2 transfers to deal with the Nketiah situation, because it will be a situation to deal with. Down to FPL Omars, we've got a couple of players I'm not too keen on. Tarkovsky here, I'm not massive on that one. I'm not sure I like Gusto, just because he does block off a Chelsea place there as well. And when are you going to play Gusto? You may as well just go for Bulldog or something like that, because Reece James is going to play most games. Gusto is probably a 1-point merchant for the majority of the season, unless James gets injured. Maybe there's preparing for James to get injured, but yeah. Tarkovsky, as much as Everton have good fixtures, they are still Everton. So yeah, not massive on that one. Caldo Midtjylland is pretty boring as a 6.5, but I get it ish. Nicholas Jackson, like as a pick. Do like Nicholas Jackson. I feel that's an interesting one. Yeah, fair play for anyone who's taken the risk and going for him. I've toyed with having him in my team as well. I think it could be interesting. The one concern is if Nkunku misses that first game, maybe there's going to be a little bit of a lack of creativity there for Jackson to get on the end of. It would be nice if he was playing alongside Nkunku, wouldn't it? But hey, that's not necessarily going to happen. Scrolling down randomly again, Johar's team here. We've got Richarlison in here, like that shout. We've got Dallo in here, a cheaper way into the Manchester United defence. But potentially, you just go for Onana rather than Dallo. And maybe go for a 4.5 million defender there. You've got the likes of Udogie. We've got Colwill. Colwill we'll quite like for a defender, if you fancy going for him as a 4.5. Yeah, who else is there? Rico Henry, Udogie, Colwill, Pau Torres. Plenty of options, guys. So yeah, you can maybe go for one of them and actually go for Onana. Maybe that's a little bit too moving back towards template too much. But again, we've got Richarlison, which I like. When Kane leaves, I'm telling you, Richarlison's going straight into my team. And I think that will be reflected in my video I post tomorrow. Assuming I might even assume that Kane does leave. Keep going to some random teams. Let's go for this Gremlin, the Gremlinho. Flecken in goal. We've got Foden in there. We've got Watkins as the forward. Yeah, I like this team. Looks pretty good there. FPL Block City. Double Man City defence. I actually really like that as a differential. As something going a little bit different. I like that. I don't like the fact that we've got 5 million Porro and 5.5 million Chilwell on the bench. That is something I'm not so keen on. There's too much money spent on defenders, particularly as you're going to bench 2 of them every single game week. So I don't like that. That is the one thing I don't like. Pick one. Chilwell or Pedro Porro. You don't need both of them. And probably downgrade Porro to a 4 million defender. Save 1 million. Spend that 4 million elsewhere. That 1 million elsewhere, sorry. And potentially upgrade one of March and Mitoma up to a 7.5. That could work. You could upgrade them to Richarlison maybe. He's 7. Solly March, by the way. Brighton are hoping he's going to start the start of the season, but he still hasn't played in pre-season at all. But they are hoping that he's going to be in there. But yeah, we've got Block City in the chat. Nice to see you, man. Yeah, I would keep Chilwell. I would downgrade Porro to a 4 million, and I would use that money to upgrade one of March or Mitoma. That's what I'd do there. But in general, I really like the idea of that you've gone for double Man City defence there. I think that's a really nice differential. It could make a difference for you. I guess maybe Ramsdale probably needs to go as well. Maybe that's the only other thing. Ramsdale's got to go, unfortunately. Oh, sorry, Blog City. Yeah, just because Raya might be coming in, could really mix things up a little bit, Arsenal. Right, FPL Boogie. I wonder if you're here today. You're often in the chat, Boogie, aren't you? We've got Pickford. I mean, you guys know how much I hate Pickford as a pick, but he's in there. We've got a pretty stacked midfield. We got Salah in there, and still managed to get Rashford, Saka, and Martinelli, which is quite nice. And the way we've done this, well, Boogie has done this, is that he's gone for a 1 striker formation. So sacrificing one of the forwards, which does weaken the bench a little bit. And has gone for like Pau Torres here for like a nice cheap defender. Yeah, I would switch Pickford to probably Johnston, maybe Flecken. Aside from that, for a Salah team, I really like it. I actually really like it. So, yeah, fair play, Boogie. I actually really like this team. Pickford out. Aside from that, looking good, my friend. We've got Matt's team here. Who let me cook? Thoughts? Is there anyone, any particular thoughts on Matt's team here? I wonder if Matt's in the chat here, probably laughing. I think this team has genuine potential to lose FPL. I think if anyone is going to lose FPL, it's potentially this guy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Sam has got a little bit of an interesting team. We've got Leno here, which is something a little bit different. In general, I actually kind of like this team. Yeah. I'm going to put it out there. I like this team. The one thing I might change is I don't like rotating goalkeepers. So I'd probably downgrade one of Leno or Flecken to a 4 million. We've got Areola, but we've also looks like Matt Turner, the Arsenal goalkeeper. He's 4 million. Could be signing for Nottingham Forest very soon. And if that is the case, then you've got Turner there as a potential 4 million goalkeeper as well. So downgrade one of Leno and Flecken to Turner or Areola, depending on which one you fancy there. Matt Dorr is in the chat. So yeah, congratulations, Matt. You made the video, my friend. Scrolling down again, we'll do Martin's team here. The only thing I don't like about this team is in CISO. We've got Mbumo there as well. I would be playing Mbumo over in CISO. I don't even think in CISO is going to start in Game Week 1 against Luton. So you may as well play Mbumo. I think Spurs is a good fixture. George in the chat says Turner is the next Ward. I think you're right, man. I think you're right. But hopefully better than Ward. Hopefully a little bit better than that. But yeah, so in CISO I'd lose. Just play Mbumo. Downgrade in CISO to a 4.5. That frees up a little bit of budget where you can potentially have that flexibility to move Jackson to a Watkins if you wanted to, or just keep it in the bank. Save it for a rainy day. Yeah, in CISO, swap him with Mbumo and downgrade him. You've got Chilwell there as well, who can come in nicely for those future game weeks. Let's do like 2 more, and then we'll go again tomorrow for some more teams. Let's have a look at this team, which is I might have to put my glasses on for this one. I'll put on my fake binoculars. So yeah, pretty template in general, other than Nicholas Jackson. Yeah, super template other than Nicholas Jackson. That's pretty much what's going on in this team. Botman as a 4.5. I don't see if there's any point. If you've got that many defenders, that you've got 5 defenders who are all like 4.5 or more, but you're only going to play 3 in any given game week. It seems like a bit of a waste of money. So pick one of Botman or Chilwell and downgrade the other one to a 4 million defender, probably like Bulldog or Kabore or someone like that. Kind of up to you. One more. Let's just scroll like really, really randomly, like right. I'm scrolling like crazy right now. We're going up, we're going down. Who are we going to land on? Another FPL Dan. Did I do this, guys, yesterday? I feel like I might have. It's pretty template anyway, so not much to say about that one. But let's go to another. Jake Smith. There we go. Jake Smith, what do you got for me, my friend? Johnson in goal. We got a back 4. We've got another 1 striker formation. Yeah, I kind of like this team, to be fair. Again, another team that is doing something a little bit different by going for 4 at the back and using having Alexander-Arnold instead of an 8 million forward, making that kind of switch up there. One thing I might change, well, a couple of things I might change. I'd change Macy to Areola or Turner once he moves. And I might swap Gahey to Anderson. Anderson's got slightly better attacking numbers than Gahey, so it might be worth, just to give you like the odd chance of getting an attacking return. Maybe that could be worth doing. And McAtee, I'll probably swap to... actually, to be fair, I don't know who I'd swap McAtee to. There's not really many forwards. Semenyo, maybe, of Bournemouth. Not really too many forwards that are likely to get game time this season, which is a bit of a shame. Mubama is the guy we're kind of holding out hope for as the 4.5 million kind of guy there. All right, I'm going to squeeze in one more, and then we're going to give away some Fantasy Football Fest tickets. This is what I've been wanting to do all stream, by the way. Right, so this is another one. It's pretty template, but we have got Foden and João Pedro as the differentials. Yeah, again, we've got 5 defenders here who all cost 4.5 or more. you can't play them all. You're never going to get through. If you've got Chilwell here, you're never going to play Colwill. If you've got Chilwell, Stones, Stupinian, and Gabriel, and you're only ever playing 3 at a time, you are never going to play Colwill. So you may as well downgrade him to a 4 million. So maybe that's something that, because we've seen it kind of like a few repetition of that in some of the teams that we've looked at today. Maybe that's like one. Obviously, Arsenal has been the main topic of this video, but maybe another takeaway from this video is that if you are, if you have a lot, like 5 kind of at least a little bit expensive defenders, think, when are you going to play the 5th best one? If you've got a Colwill as your 5th defender, as your cheapest defender, if you've got a Botman as your 5th and cheapest defender, when are you going to play these players? Because if you've got the likes of Stones, Chilwell, Gabriel, Stupinian, or Trent Alexander-Arnold, all these other great defenders, and you're only ever going to play 3 at a time, you've got 4 great ones already. You're already going to be struggling to pick which 3 out of the 4 to play. The 5th one is never going to get a look in. Never going to get a look in. So there's no point in having that player on your team. May as well downgrade them to a 4 million and just leave them on your bench. Which I wonder if people have kind of made their teams and they've got a 4 million defender in their team and they've kind of thought, I've got 0.5 left in the bank. I may as well upgrade that 5th defender slot. Yeah, this was literally one of the tips that I put in my video that I uploaded earlier today, my noob versus pro video. And on the noob column, the noob always tries to spend all of their money and upgrades players that they actually don't need to upgrade that player at all. And the pro player is more than happy to leave 0.5, 1 million in the bank. They are the pro player, the top FPL managers don't care if they've got money in the bank. They are happy to have money in the bank. They won't compromise their team. They will keep that money and save it for a rainy day. There might be price changes in the first game week, which that 0.5 million could really, really help you out. So yeah. A little takeaway there, and I think let's give away some Fantasy Football Fest tickets. So, I mean, basically, you've got until, if you haven't entered already into this giveaway, you've basically got until I enter all of these these people into a spinny wheel, to kind of to get your entry in. But yeah, once again, Fantasy Football Fest next Friday. Let's give away some of these tickets. I think I'm going to give away 4 today, because I might offer some of these people a +1 as well. And if they don't want a +1, I'll give away the other 2. Maybe we'll give the other 2 away on Twitter or Instagram, or I don't know. We'll see. But let's make a spinny wheel. What's it called? What's the spinny wheel website called? Wheel of Names? Wheel of Names, maybe? Yeah. Oh, man, I love doing these. Haven't done one of these in time as well. Can you guys see that okay? Looks like you can. All right. Oh, this is from the last time I used the spinny wheel, where I don't know what we I don't even know what we were picking. I don't even know what we were picking, but we're clearly picking something to do with FPL. Right. So let's get up Twitter and copy some of these names over. So Tommy MFC wants to go. We've got FPL Point Chaser. And by the way, guys, if you're not interested in the spinny wheel and who's going to win the Fantasy Football Fest tickets, feel free to leave the stream at this point. I wouldn't entirely blame you, because I know a lot of you guys are just here for the team ratings. But like I was saying earlier, Jay Sprigg something. Hang on, what does that say? Jay Springer. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, if you haven't got your team rated today and just would like to get a rough vibe on your team, make sure you do sign up to Fantasy Football Hub whilst you still can. The link for 50% off is in the description, and you can check that out. And what's it called? FPL Robin? Yeah. And you can check that out and go get your team rated by a computer. It's not quite a human, but it's still pretty good, isn't it? Pretty good. We've got Brendan there as well. And of course, if you are leaving the stream at this point, I mean, I hope you don't. I hope you stick around just to see who wins. But if you are disappearing, please make sure you leave a like before you disappear. It really does help out so much. So yeah, please do leave a like. And yeah, of course, subscribe if you haven't done already as well. But for me personally, I want to do this spinning wheel. Wait. Okay, this crystal person doesn't want to go, I don't think. They just want to send me their team. Crystal, you're trying to sneak in the team rating video, right? All right, so we've got Stuart McHugh there. Stuart McHugh. Hopefully I'm spelling this right. We've got Gavin Dolan. You make it onto the spinny wheel. How many more have we got? Slavs. How did they spell it? Something like that. Yeah. Ibsy. We've got L. Crystal will win now. You reckon? I've taken Crystal off, so Crystal can't win. Maybe I'll put my own name on here to see if I can win my own tickets. So this person is just called T. All right, so T. There we go. Justin and FPL Aspect. I'll put them on together. FPL Aspect. Anyone, by the way, is there anyone on this who is entered in? Is anyone in the chat right now? Any of you guys who I'm writing down, or who I am about to write down? Any of you in the chat right now? Maybe we can. What is this? What is this word? Shiwi. Shiwi. There we go. Yeah, if you're in the chat and you're being entered in, make yourself known, because I would very much like to have someone to root for. Adam Patterson. Who have we got? Okay, looks like we got Tommy's here. First person I put in, wasn't it? Right, Joey Rokus. What else have we got here? Joey Rokus, Adam Patterson. Am I entering in everyone? Lucas Bradshaw, Cal, and Josh. Lucas, Bradshaw, Cal, and Josh. You are all in. We've got another Josh Mahoney. I have to remember which Josh is which. All right, what's the first Josh called in? All right, the first one's called Josh Kolk, so we don't get confused. Stelios, you're here. Firebrill, you are in the chat. Make sure you've replied to this tweet if you want to. In fact, you know what? I'll just add you in. No, reply to the tweet. Reply to the tweet, because then I can keep track of things a little bit easier. Josh Mahoney, I don't actually know if they'd like to go. I might actually remove Josh. It doesn't. I'm not sure. We'll put Max Everett in. If you want to enter, just go to my Twitter and find that says I'm giving away Fantasy Football Fest tickets, and reply to it. So, Mr. PBK. Hopefully, we are almost done, because we've got a lot of names in here. Nick CFC. Wait. Nick CFC wants to go as well. We've got Hyder. Looks like a couple of you guys have just entered now. Hyder's only put this in 3 minutes ago. See if you win, my friend. Moodsy says no thank you. Should we put them in anyway? Someone definitely just sent me a DM, didn't they, asking, can I have the ticket? Oh, no, they don't. They didn't. I've had a few people try and DM me saying, oh, can I just have the ticket? I said, no, enter into the competition. I can't play favorites. Right. MY Moodsy. I feel like we put them in anyway. They said no thank you, but I'm putting them in. You're going in. You're going in, my friend. And I don't know what's going on here. They haven't entered, so we'll leave it. I'm going to have to copy and paste this one, because I don't really know what that says. Hafsali 123. Joe asks if he's cooking. We've got Paulie Grainy there as well. I'll do a quick refresh just to see if anyone... Oh, is there any... James Hamlin would like to go as well. And then we've got some spam. We don't want the spam. The spam is not. Okay. Right. Literally, guys, last chance now. And then I'm going to start spinning the wheel. So, yeah, last chance. Find this tweet on my Twitter page and reply to it. We've got Max Brill. All right, Max, you're in, my friend. Let's try and find some others that have been entered recently. Cameron Gill. Did I put Cameron in? Yeah, I did. Right, 2 minutes ago, FPL Chester. Okay. Okay, what else have we got? Literally last chance now, guys. I'm not going to wait too much longer. Slabs we put in already. L we put in already. Anyone else? John? Just plain old Mr. John. You're in, my friend. Stel West. You can't have 2 entries, but nice try. Adam, we've already put in, I believe. Anyone else? Miles and Bobby. Oh, we've got a few more. Right, Miles Simmons. Or Simons. Bobby. Max, we already put in. Lorcan McGee. Oh my god, this is more entries than I was expecting. We put Miles in, didn't we? We put more Lorcan in. TTH. Do we put Hyder in already? Yeah, we put Hyder in. I don't even know how to. I don't even think I have those keys on my keyboard. You are a rep. I don't know what language that is. What is? Yeah. By the way, I'm not just. I am just saying this because I don't recognize this language. But if you are from a different country, and you're just entering this in, and you can't actually attend at all, you do have to give me like your full details. Like when I give away these tickets, I need like your name, address, email address, and actually register you to go. So you can't transfer the tickets. You can't you can't like do anything with the tickets unless you can come. That's the only thing. So yeah, if you are just entering in from abroad or whatever with no intention of coming, or entering from within England as well and not intending on coming, then yeah, you can't sell the ticket or anything. It says Martin. Okay, right. I'll remember. In fact, let me switch your name here. I'm going to change it to Martin. That way I know what to say if you win, my friend. Good luck. All right, let's just double check. Make sure we haven't got anyone else missed out. FPL TK. I feel like I already put you in. Maybe I didn't. All right, okay. FPL TK. You might be the last one, my friend. Yeah, it looks like that's going to be it. And we're going to start spinning the wheel. I'm going to start spinning the wheel. Declan as well there. Okay, Declan and FPL Joshua. All right, I think... Oh, and we'll put Azza in. All right, Declan, FPL Joshua. My word. Joshua. And someone else was there as well. Azza. Okay, that is it. That is it now. Azza, your last one. Okay, right. That is it now. So we'll give away like 4 now, and we'll maybe give away some more. We'll either do another spinning wheel on another stream, or we'll do something else. Stelios West says you're already in. I haven't put you in twice, have I? Well, if I have, you're in luck. Which one are you? Stel West. Oh, here you are. Have I put in Stel West twice? I have. Oh, thank you for your honesty. Because you would have had 2 chances of winning. I skipped someone, apparently. Who? I don't think I did. Right. Anyway, look, I've had this tweet out for 24 hours. I'm already being very generous, letting people have last-minute entries. So I'm not going to do any more. Let's spin this wheel. Let's give away some tickets. I just want to end some tickets. I just want to give them away. We're going to start the spinning. Who have we got? Who's going to win our first ticket? I will be DMing everyone, by the way. We've got... Oh, it's Martin! It's Acrylic Martin! Acrylic Martin, you are our first winner. So I will send you a DM and we'll get you full details and we'll send you some tickets. Lovely. Right. You're going. Congratulations, Martin. I should probably make a note of this as well. I'm going to open up my notes page. Obviously, you guys can't see this, but I am just putting this as a note. So, Martin, our first ticket goes to you, my friend. Next. Let's see. It's going to be FPL Designer, who I don't believe is in the chat today. But I think they put a nice message, FPL Designer. Let's have a look here. Here we go. I'd love to go. Hopefully see you there. So, Rich, FPL Designer, whether you're watching this as a replay or if you're in the chat right now, you will be going to Fantasy Football Fest. Congratulations. Next. We'll do 2 more. It's going to be... Ooh, almost Adam Patterson, but it's going to be Joey Rockus. Joey Rockus. Congratulations, Joseph. You're going to Fantasy Football Fest. And we've got one more. One more to give away. Or should we just do them all? I'm tempted to do them all, you know. We've got Manuel. Manuel from España. I mean, I don't know. I just made that up. I just made a little story up for Manuel. Unless it's literally like a manual, like a guidebook, that kind of manual potentially. Well, that's not spelt the same, is it? So all right, we got Manuel there as well. You know what? I've changed my mind. I'm just gonna give away all of them. I'm gonna give away all of them. Let's just keep it moving. Right, Manuel, you're going. Aha! FPL Designer is here. Over to Eno in the chat. I'm FPL Designer. Thanks. See you there, Dan. Amazing, man. I will send you a DM this evening and confirm the details on that bad boy. Get your like stuff so we can get your I'll need your name, email address. I'll tell you in the DM. Right. Well, let's do the others. I'm enjoying myself too much. I love a spinny wheel. I'll do 2 more. So the next one is going to be Mr. PBK. Mr. PBK. And by the way, guys, if you don't win today, I do have to say, last year I gave away a load of tickets, and some people didn't even reply to my DM. I don't even think they really wanted to go. I think they just wanted to be involved in the spinning wheel last year. So if people don't reply, then I'll give them like a couple of days, like maybe 3 days, and if they don't reply, I'll just give away their tickets to someone else who wants to go. Well done, Mr. PBK. You are going to Fantasy Football Fest, which gives us 1 more ticket to offer out. Whether they'll be actually accepted or not, I don't know. Inquiry in the chat says, get in, I'm Mr. PBK. Oh, nice one, man. Right, let's have a look here. We have got... Oh, I think it's going to be FPL Playmaker. Yeah, it's going to be FPL Playmaker here. Well, there you go. That is the 6th and final ticket that I'm giving away. There we go. Done. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for everyone who's entered. Miss PBK is here. Joel Ariahu says, see you there, Dan. Joey Rokas here. Okay, excellent. Right, guys. Those of you guys who just want the tickets, I will send you a DM. I'll try and do it tonight, but if I know myself, I'll probably forget and do it tomorrow instead. But assuming I do it tonight, I'll chat to you in DMs. We'll get you here we go. Oh, here we go. Martin is coming through here. All right, we might have a twist here. Martin, you can't give away your ticket. No, I need to take a name and assign that name to the ticket, and I need to do that as soon as physically possible. So you can't sell the ticket. No, unless you have if you've got someone who you've maybe got a friend who you know would really like to go, and you just like to gift it to them, and you know that friend right now, then my friend Acrylic Martin, you can give them away. Martin, let me know if you've got someone in mind that you'd like to give this ticket to, because I'm assuming you don't actually want to go. Because if not, you know, you can't exchange it for money, and you can't sell it. So we may as well just give it away to someone else here, because I'm sure there's a lot of people who actually really, really would like to go. So yeah, Martin, let me know. Oh, Martin says, no, can I choose someone from the kind people here? Martin, you're actually a bit of a... Acrylic Martin, I hope you stick around on this channel, because you seem like a bit of a legend. Yes, Acrylic Martin, you can select anyone here in the chat who you would like to give the ticket to. What a legend! That is actually so legendary. In fact, can we get some dubs, some claps in the chat. Actually, let's get some dubs in the chat for Martin. That's absolutely legendary. Yes, my friend. Of course, you can give it away. Let's see who he gives it to. But of course, guys, if you whilst we're waiting for Martin to decide who he's going to give it to, drum rolls, please. If you didn't win today and you would still like to attend, this event, you can do so. I mean, go check it out. The website is ff-fest.com. Even if you don't have a free ticket, it's still probably worth. It's worth coming down. It really is. Like, I would never miss one. Like, they're absolutely brilliant. There's so much good stuff there. So really would recommend you go check out ff-fest.com and just have a look. See if you like it. Fair enough, you didn't win a ticket, but support the event and pay your money for the event. Tickets, I believe, are £25 each. You get a free drink with your ticket. So those of you guys who won today, not only have you have you won a ticket to Fantasy Football Fest, but you also won a free drink, technically. But Acrylic Martin has been an absolute legend here. He's giving the ticket to Stelios West, who I believe, what was Stelios West? What was your name on Twitter? Was it like Stel West? You know what? I actually feel like, Stel West. I actually feel like out of all of the people who could have won it, or who Martin could have given it to, Stel West was a good choice. And I tell you why Stel West was a good choice. Oh, you don't actually want one? You were joking? I was going to say give it to Stel West because he was honest. Because he was honest about having 2 entries. But he doesn't actually want it. Are you sure, Stelios? You sure you don't want it, man? I mean, if you don't, then Acrylic Martin, you can maybe give it to someone else. I'm sure there's a few people who would like to go. But yeah, massive respect for Martin for giving away his ticket there. But it looks like Stelios doesn't want it either. I mean, does Stelios? I mean, does it now fall to you to now give the ticket away to someone else? Do we just form a chain until we find someone who actually wants it? Oh, dearie me. The plot twists are mental. I know, E-Dog. This is mad, isn't it? This is mad. We haven't even speaking about FPL for like half an hour now. Oh, dear. All right. Well, Stelios and Martin. Okay, right. Martin says, okay, give it to the first girl's name you see on the wheel. All right. So with Acrylic Martin's a bit of a charmer. To be fair, it would be nice to see some more female people, like more females getting involved in FPL. Well, I spun the wheel and it almost landed on L. So do we give it to L? I feel like, or do we give it to the first female name we land on? I think we keep going. If I get bored, we'll give it to L. Dubriz for for Acrylic Martin. Well, Max, unfortunately, that I don't think Max is a female name. All right, Stelios is sure. All right, Paulie. Yeah, I don't know if that's Paulie. No, I'm not. I don't think that counts. Dubriz Acrylic Martin is going to give it to... I don't think there's many female names on it. Azza? That's masculine. Tommy, that's masculine. How can we find a female? Give us a female name. Otherwise, L is going to... I tell you what, actually. Max Brill, I know you're not female. I tell you what, I did actually see... that there was someone who wanted to... There was a female who wanted to give it... have a ticket for their husband. So Haf Salih said, my husband has been nagging me for years to get into FPL, and now I love it. Would be a nice surprise for him. I could try and speak. I could give it to, I mean, if our friend Acrylic Martin is happy, we could give it to Haf Salih, And I could try and speak to Fantasy Football Fest and see if I can get them 2 tickets. So, I mean, maybe this is bad of me assuming this is female, but Hafsa sounds like a female name, and it says my husband. Maybe I'm actually being really prejudiced here. Is Hafsa? Is it a female name? Is it a name? Name. Hafsa a name. Yeah, it's a feminine name. I thought so. So, might be fake. Sounds a bit dodgy. Interesting. I think that is a female name. But she hasn't won it fair and square. Declan was meant, but Declan, you're a boy. Hafsa is a Muslim female name. I thought so. I feel like we're not naturally going to get a female name. So I think it's between... The only 2 female names on here are Hafsa and Elle. Those are the only 2. So maybe just pick one. Or maybe we'll just do a... Well, I think they're the only 2. I'm going to... Maybe just do another... Maybe we'll do a... Oh, let's just do a poll. Who is... Right, we're doing a poll. Who is going to Fantasy Football Fest? Elle or... Hafsa or Elle? Those are the 2 choices. You guys can choose. I can't be bothered anymore. I'll let the crowd decide who wins the ticket. One of Hafsa or Elle. Ellen says you're a good-hearted person, FPL mate. I don't know about that. I'm just trying to do a... I don't know what I'm doing. Honestly, as soon as we go off FPL, things just go a bit crazy. I need to start Twitch streaming again so I can just so there's less pressure to talk about FPL and we can just go off the rip a little bit more. So it is close between Hafsa and Elle. Is anyone even still watching at this point? I'd probably cut all of this out, to be honest. But I don't think anyone actually wants to watch this part of the video. I'll cut this off for the replay, maybe. Or maybe I'll leave it on. I don't know. Okay. Human beings just make it 50-50. No, you will not force me to make a decision. Jack says, are either of them in the chat? First one to type in the chat gets it, surely? I mean, I guess so. But... I mean, I feel like it would happen. Miles says I'll gift some money for a ticket. Miles, just buy the ticket. Just buy the ticket yourself. Dan Cross says still going. Yeah, man, we're trying to give away this last ticket. We can't decide who it is. This poll is who gets the Fantasy Football Fest ticket. It looks like Elle's gonna win. I feel like I'm going to end it here before you guys try and troll me and take it to 50-50. Edward says, no idea why I'm watching anymore. No, neither do I. Inquire says, my name's Elle. Do I get it? I mean, to be fair, like, it wouldn't matter because I'm going to contact the person via Twitter anyway. So, yeah, Elle's won this. Elle's got the dub, right? Elle's getting the ticket. Right, very courtesy of Dub Riz. Acrylic Martin with the dub Riz. I'll make sure I tell Elle that this is courtesy of Acrylic Martin, and feel free to enter Acrylic Martin's DMs. I mean, I'll tell you what, Martin, I will pass on your details to Elle, so she can perhaps thank you in person. I'm assuming. Would that be a good thing? I don't know. I'm not actually going to do that, by the way. Right. We're going to finally leave the stream here because we've been going for almost an hour and a half here, and this was only meant to be an hour's stream. We got a bit carried away with the Wheel of Names, which was good fun. But congratulations to our winners of the Fantasy Football Fest tickets, which were... Wait, who were they? Wait, have I messed this up? Why have I... Oh, no, it's L... Okay, I've got the names. FPL Designer, Joey Rocas, Manuel, Mr. PBK, and FPL Playmaker. So you guys are coming. If you want to come though, like, just buy a ticket, guys. Like, if you really want to, really want to come, please buy a ticket. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of you guys there. So if you do come, if you do buy a ticket, or if you are one of the giveaway winners and you do get a ticket, please come and say hi. Please, come have a chat. Love to meet you in person. And let's all go to Fantasy Football Fest. Be amazing. Right, okay, we're going to leave it there, finally. I really appreciate you guys joining me today. Make sure you drop a like before you disappear from the stream. Really does help out so much. Do subscribe if you haven't done it already. Aside from that, well, I mean, I'll see you tomorrow for another stream, I imagine. And I'll see... Oh, by the way, team selection video coming tomorrow. It's a good one. But aside from that, thank you so much for watching. And I will see you later, mates. Appreciate you guys. Bye-bye.